Hello friends, today I'll be showing you that my lithops mix, what I usually use for growing my lithops. So lithops have very fine roots, so they cannot grow in a media which contains a lot of, say, grit. Usually they grow in a media which is very fine. So I usually take this sand having very fine particles. So this is about 70% sand I take, and in this sand I mix very small, say 20 to 30% of slightly larger granules. These are some of the larger granules so that they provide a sort of porosity to the soil mix. So I use about 20% of this, 70% of sand, 20% of these larger granules that I usually use, and then I use about 5% of humus so that it gives a better porosity and can retain some amount of water. So the mix that is now formed usually contains 70% of very fine sand, that is the main part of it, then about 20% of finer granules. You can take sieved sand or some granular sand and mix it well. Along with that, about some percentage, say 5 to 6% of humus, and then very small amount of slow release fertilizer. So these are all slow release fertilizer. You can use Osmocote. So this also goes into this. This is the type of soil mix that I use for my lithops. So, and there are a few chunks of, say, coconut husk or something which can retain some amount of moisture. So this will appear to be somewhat like this towards the end. This is my lithops mix. It doesn't require much of the organic matter, so I don't use organic matter because it also leads to decay and decomposition at times, and it leads to rot. So this is my lithops mix. I fill it up and then I make pre-cavities into the pot, growing pot, like somewhat like this. This is filled with the media. Then I pre-wet it and then I make cavities into it. Once the cavities are made, I leave it overnight. I leave these cavities overnight so that it can be stable, and I usually next morning I plant lithops into it so that they can go straight down into these cavities. The root can enter. Otherwise, if it is not wet, the sand won't allow the penetration. It will be so loose that it won't form cavities, and it will be a bit difficult for me to plant lithops. So this is it. Yes, one more thing, small amount of fungicide is also required. Any fungicide that you can have, you can grow in. Small amount of fungicide can also be added. So this is a very simple soil mix that is usually used for lithops. They don't require much, only very, you can say, inorganic type of soil media is required to grow lithops. So that is it. I'll be transplanting some of my lithops that I grew from seeds that they were planted in the year 2021. So since then they were still inside this, but yes, I'll be planting these and repotting them because they have outgrown the pot. So this is the soil mix that I usually use for my lithops. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.